The last one is the anti-Israel allying of nations like Turkey. Turkey has been interesting, an enigma of sorts as of late. Muslim country. We know that Ezekiel 38 describes them by their ancient name, at least the region we know today to be modern-day Turkey, ancient Asia Minor. But they're allied with this Russian, Iranian-led alliance of Muslim nations that strike Israel. Well, just in the last week, they moved ever so forward to taking a stand, making it very clear where they stand as it relates to Israel and a nuclear Iran. Did you know that a nuclear Iran is prophesied in the Bible? Not by their modern name, by their ancient name, Persia. They're not Arabs. They're Persians. They don't speak Arabic, they speak Farsi. Now, Iran plays an enormous role in the end times prophetic program. But Turkey had to come into that alliance with these nations in their sole goal of wiping Israel off the map, which fulfills, of course, all the prophecies, not the least of which is the one in Psalm 83, where the psalmist writes and prophesies and says, "Come, they say, these nations, let us destroy them as a nation so they are no more." In other words, let's wipe them off the map. Psalm 83 virtually quotes verbatim what Ahmadinejad says all the time. He wants to wipe them off the map. And there will be a nuclear attack, and Turkey will be involved. And just within the last week, the headlines say, guess what? We're in, Turkey. You Turkey? Those turkeys. They're Turks, pardon me. I mean no disrespect, but they are going to be involved in this attack. It's one of those pieces that had to be put in place, and it's being put in place right before our very eyes. It's going to fulfill Zechariah 12, which describes graphically, in graphic detail, a nuclear attack against Israel. Okay. Heavy, yeah? Now what do we do? I don't know. What are we going to do? Go home, dig a puka and stick your head in it. I don't know, yeah? No. The Bible's not silent. Do you think God would give us all of this information and then not package with it what we're supposed to do about it? Absolutely not. Well, why does He want us to know this? Because He wants us to be ready. He wants us to know, hey, I'm coming quickly. I'm coming soon. I'm at the door. You know, my wife and I in 1997 went to my homeland. We couldn't go to Lebanon, but we went to Egypt and then Jordan. And I have family there, and had a cousin that took us to Petra when we were in Jordan. And then we stayed with my aunt in Giza, right close to the pyramids. Oh, it was just amazing. Hey, you might want to go back. I probably can't. You think I had problems in Israel. They'll kill me in Egypt now, but in Jordan too. But, you know, we missed our train. We wanted to get from Cairo to Alexandria. And we missed our train. We had to take a cab. Can I just give you a piece of advice? Never enter a cab in Egypt. We got in this cab and realized very quickly that it was very possible that we were going to see Jesus. There was no way we were going to arrive there safely because, see, he wanted to get there and back as quick as he could because it meant more money for him. So we're speeding through. Forget sightseeing. It was like, oh, wow, that was the Nile. Did you see that? It's gone now. But, you know, it was just, and I mean, it was, and we came this close to just being hit by a truck. I thought for sure we're so dead. But, you know, it was because of that perilous ride in that cab from HE double hockey sticks that made me take particular notice of the road signs. See, the farther from our destination we were, the less frequent were the signs. So I'd see a sign, it would say, we were, this many kilometers, and then there was this many kilometers, and then as we got closer, those signs became very precious to me because they were more frequent, and they would encourage me and say to me, "You're almost there. You're almost there. You've almost arrived at your destination." Thank God for those signs. So too is this true as it relates to these perilous signs that we see. They make us take particular notice. They even force us to do what Jesus said to do in Luke 21:28 when he said, "These things begin to take place. Stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near." You're drawing near now to your final destination, namely your redemption. So whenever you see these signs begin to come to pass, look up and lift up your head because you're almost there. One of the effects of Bible prophecy is to loosen our grip on this world and the things of this world. And that's one of the reasons why I believe God has given us so many prophecies in such detail, because it shows us just how close we are, and it has a way of changing how we view this world and the things of this world. He wants us to be ready. He doesn't want his return to be for us as a thief in the night. For us as believers, this is what this is for. If you're not a believer, then John 14:29 is for you. Because this is where Jesus, in effect, says, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen before it happens, so when it happens, you'll believe. Do you know that no other religious writing can make that claim? There are no prophecies in the Quran. There's no prophecies in the religious writings of Buddhism. I would venture to say there's no writings in the book of foolishness or wisdom of the Druze. Because, see, they can't tell you what's going to happen before it happens because they don't know, because they're not all-knowing. God is omniscient. If you don't know Jesus Christ, you are given this sure word of prophecy. In other words, God's saying, you should investigate my record. You should see my track record. There were over 300 prophecies prophesying Jesus' first coming, and every single one of them were fulfilled perfectly. And the odds numerically, astronomically, incalculable. Even 8 of those 300 prophecies, it's a number too large to even know. I don't know what happens after a trillion. I think our government's about to find out here pretty soon, but yeah. A jillion? I don't know. But it's even beyond that. There's so many zeros on just the odds of 8 of those over 300 prophecies being fulfilled. And that's just his first coming. If there's something in this life that you still have a grip on, or maybe better said, that still has a grip on you, as you're partaking today in remembrance of what the Lord did for you, would you surrender it to the Lord? If you've got some unfinished business with God, you need to tie up your loose ends. Can I say it this way? You need to get your affairs in order, because he could come at any time.